Section 8, baby.
Section 8.
This is every hood baby's dream. You hear me?
Oh, yeah.
All the time. Section 8. People want to be on Section 8. You know, even though it has a negative connotation, the other connotation is
I think that light went out.
My rent is paid for.
Mm-hmm.
So with Section 8 being a thing, let's talk about the pros, the cons, what it means to a renter, what it means to a real estate broker, because I also work in real estate as a broker, and then what it means to an investor. So to a real estate broker, I'll be honest, when people call me and say, hey, I have Section 8, I refer that business to somebody who does Section 8.
Mm-hmm.
It is a high demand, low product size business in terms of there are plenty of people on Section 8 and with Section 8 vouchers, but there typically isn't enough spaces for them to rent.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Everybody's kind of looking for the same thing.
For sure.
Every person with Section 8 wants a single family house with 2 bathrooms and 3 to 5 bedrooms. Ain't that kind of how it goes now?
I mean, we could say that. I mean, I don't know the statistics on it, but just based off my experiences, that feels about right. That feels about right. Feels about right. It feels about right.
Chandeliers and marble floors and goddamn butlers. Go ahead.
I can see that.
So tell me, Section 8, as an investor, as a seasoned investor, as a seasoned landlord, Section 8 or cash tenant?
Okay, so there's pros and cons to both, right? A lot of people have this negative viewpoint of Section 8. They just feel like people who are on Section 8 are going to treat your property the worst. And I'm here to tell you, as an experienced investor who's been doing this for over 12 years, that some of my worst move-outs, some of my junkiest tenants have been cash tenants. And so it doesn't really matter if they're Section 8 or cash as far as that goes. It's all about the quality of the tenant. So you can get that out your head that Section 8 people are somehow bad and destructive, and that somehow cash people are not destructive, because it's completely false and it's completely made up in your head, right? Now, the benefit to Section 8 is that you get the guaranteed money every month on the 1st. You get a check from the government, and then all you have to do is collect the portion if the tenant has a portion of the rent from the tenant. Example, if the rent is $1,500, Section 8 may pay $1,300 of that money, and then throughout the month you have to go collect the other $200 from the tenant. But if you have a cash tenant and the rent is $1,500, then that cash tenant has to pay the whole $1,500. So for if some reason they don't pay you and you have to start the eviction process, you will be without that $1,500 and possibly another $1,500 and possibly another $1,500, depending on how your eviction process goes and which state you're in, because some states are tenant friendly and some states are landlord friendly. Now you're going to be out that money when Section 8 will make sure that you have that money on the 1st. Now, one of the cons is that Section 8 does make you perform a quality control inspection. Now, this inspection is going to be, I'd say kind of basic, but it's still something they do every other year. If you have children under 6, they do it every year. And they check for things like outlets that don't work, windows that don't close, gaps in the walls, gaps in the doors, cracked tiles, so on and so forth. There's actually a list of items that are on the website, depending on which state you're in, that they'll tell you exactly a lot of the things that they're looking for. So a lot of people don't like to pass the inspections, but for me, it's a small price to pay to have some guaranteed money on the 1st. So I do a little bit of both personally in my dealings with real estate. I keep about, currently we're at about 70% occupancy with subsidized housing and 30% cash.
And subsidized housing is Section 8.
Subsidized housing is Section 8, but I say subsidized housing just because Section 8 isn't the only form of government assistance. It's probably the most popular that we heard of. There's also Catholic charities. There's, here in Chicago, there's Chicago House, and there's Low Income Fund. I believe that's what it's called, Low Income Housing Fund. That they have one. There's a bunch of programs, but Section 8 is like the, I guess, Apple. It's like universally known.
It's just like with hip hop, we got R&B, we got graffiti, we got all of these things under hip hop.
For sure.
The big umbrella is hip hop.
For sure.
So subsidized housing, the umbrella the popular term is Section 8, but subsidized housing can be anything that an outside organization is paying for your housing and is guaranteed money. That's kind of where it goes.
Exactly. And I'm not here to sway people away from cash or towards cash or away from Section 8 or towards Section 8. Yeah. I'm just here to say be open-minded and consider all of your options. I know people who are just about Section 8, and I know people who are just about cash, and I'm here to tell you that they're both wrong, because there's pros and cons to both styles of tenants, and I think you should be more open-minded and consider them, and depending on the tenant and depending on the property at hand and the timing.
Okay.
So
subscribe. Like.